Okay guys, welcome back. I got this question and I think it's a really good one. Is how can we stylize our power moves? How can we make sure we stand out from all the other b-boys doing power moves, and basically add some style to it. Obviously you already have a style, that's the way you do the power moves. If you have a very high level, you will stand out and people will notice the way you do it, but obviously that's not really the answer we're looking for today. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the two main ways you should approach it, so that when you do power moves, you stand out from everybody else and you add style to your power moves, guys. So actually the approach is rather simple, but first let's take a look at how I enter a windmill from standing. I do some top rock ride, whatever, yada yada yada, rotate, windmill right. Now, the problem is that that is totally not original. Depending what I do with that windmill or how fast and powerful it is, it can be very nice. And yet again, the way you do this is your style, but that's not original, right? And the same goes the way you enter air flare. The same goes the way you enter flare. If I do this, like, okay, I want to do flares, I do this. Boom, and I do flares, right? Like this clip. So, okay, flare, 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 some shit, right? So, it's nothing special. It's nice flare, I guess, but that's nothing special, right? So what you actually want to do is find special ways to enter that power move that you want to do. Now, I talked about this before, but basically freezes are your friend, guys. If I can do the turtle freeze, and from the turtle freeze I can flare, right? Basically all I have to find is a simple and easy transition towards my freeze, right? And from the freeze I can just flare, right? And the same goes basically with everything you can do. If you find a weird transition towards, let's say, the windmill or the halo, you're on your shoulder like here and you find this little boom, boom, and the power move. See, you find this. You find different ways in and out, and you try to make this flow, preferably with both footwork and your top ropes, right? I think, like, if you look at Hero 10, he has the right idea about this. It's really sick transitions, but it looks very nice and stylish when he does it, right? I did a whole bunch of tutorials about this topic anyway, so it's very easy to play with, guys. Now, the way you exit the power move is also, yet again, something you should work on. So you're doing power moves just like everybody else, blah 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 blah, swipe, windmill swipe, whatever, 90, let's say whatever it is, right? And then from the 90 or from the windmill, you just stand to your feet, or you do, even if you do something a little bit higher level, like a 1.5 air flare, and that's your finish. Nothing wrong with it, can be very very nice, and you should be able to do those and practice those combos, right? But it's nothing special. All the b-boys sort of do those kind of combos. So what you want to do is find special exits out of your power moves. And yet again, it's the same principle. It's not that deep. If you have good freeze control, it becomes even easier. But basically you can find these ways, right? Yet again, I made a bunch of tutorials about this topic. One that I, for instance, do is when I do wave wheels, I glide out of my upper arm like this, go to freeze and glide on my knees to add style to that fucker, right? Now, when you want to do barrels, I highly suggest you work also with footwork and power move mixed. This means basically the same thing we just talked about, but basically you try to find ways from your footwork to smoothly enter power moves, right? And if you have very good power moves, obviously that will stand out also. Yet again, there's many ways, and you have to study some other b-boys, what their ideas are maybe, but obviously it's fine to make them yourself. That's also a little bit what I do. I find these different ways to make it work. It doesn't have to be really high level, but the higher your level, obviously, the sicker it gets, right? So that is the first thing you're gonna do. You're gonna find different ways to enter your power moves that are not the normal ways, right? And you're gonna find different ways to exit your power move that are not the normal ways. And at the same time, if you want to be a complete b-boy and not a pure power move, you also find ways to enter from your power move smoothly into your footwork, or in a different way. It can be very explosive, like that's something I sometimes do. I do, like I already explained in other tutorial, that sometimes I just do one air flare or one power move like that, and then from there I make all these weird jumps and twists to, you know, keep the explosive style going. So that's an option you have. It's all the way your creativity. How can you exit these moves? How can you enter these moves? Very simple, right? And then as you get good at power moves, obviously you stand out like this. Now, another way to approach it is simply signatures, guys. Now, let's take a run of me that I actually did in a battle, and it's this one. Okay, so it's flare, elbow step, bunch of different swipes in different variations. Some baby belly mills, so belly mills baby mills in my belly, and finally freeze and then footwork. So why footwork? Well, obviously I just talked about it. It's necessary for battles. Even the highest level do that, but obviously that run isn't good enough to just do power, right? So it's not that insane high level. At the same time, it shows all these signatures in there, right? Now in that same battle, actually, if you look in the corner, is Kid Colombia. Now Kid Colombia is really good at power moves. Now let's say I do another run that I would also be able to do, like good flare, windmill flare, swipe, 90 swipe, some shit like that, right? One air flare, one elbow air flare, windmill, blah. He would obliterate that run easy because he has way better power moves. So he can even get away with just doing very powerful normal power move, and even he uses a lot of signatures, right? So signatures are your friend, and as you get better at power moves, try to unlock these signature moves with it. Don't just practice endless the flare, but play with that flare. Find different ways. They can be creative, and yet again, freeze combos is your friend. You need to unlock the air chair to the hands, to the elbow, to the hands, to the head, because this stuff gives you control over power move also. It's not just purely doing flares and windmills. That will only bring you to a certain level. So you want to really practice all these freeze transitions, combine them with your power move, and it's easy to play with and make creative stuff. At the same time, I just talked about it, if you can land in a freeze, you can also make a flip to a freeze, like for instance this one. Right, so it's a super easy move, right? But just land in a freeze, quickly flare from it or something like that, right? Or whatever you can find. So that's the key. Find all these signatures. I did yet again a whole bunch of tutorials. If you watch this clip, actually, I'm fucking around with different hand positions in the elbow air flare, right? So super easy stuff in a way. It's just your basic control, but because you're messing around and making your own signatures, then you put all that stuff in one run, and you have like 6, 7, 8 signatures in your power move. Man, you will stand out with that power, and you like, wow, that's cool, all these transitions. Obviously your power has to be clean and yada, but you get the idea, guys. That's how you approach it. If you approach it like that, man, even without doing footwork, you can be stylish and win battles. And Peter actually did that back in the day. I remember a battle against Lil G. Man, Lil G came out blazing, and personally I do think that the Lil G is a lot better than Peter. But man, he smoked him with just power move, but creative, right? A lot of creative transitions in, out to his power move, and in that battle he was simply better, guys. So it is possible. Obviously, I highly advise any b-boys that want, at least if you want to battle, that you also work on footwork and transitions in and out. It's part of the game, guys. And obviously your top rope and stuff has to be on point too. See you next time.